everyone, Happy New Year, and may the new year bring to you everything you wish for. With the beginning of the new year, I am bringing to you my 2015 bookish goals, bookish resolutions. Before this channel, I didn't actually plan my reading so much, but since booktube, I think, especially with my wrap-ups and TBR videos, I am finding myself a bit more challenged to actually follow within plans. Some people say that that doesn't work for them, but for me, in the past few months, that really worked well, and I was able to read more and actually get through books which I've owned for ages and I didn't ever think I would go back to reading. So the idea of organizing my reading and reading more planned is working for me. So that's why I'm doing this resolutions for 2015 and see how that works and if that improves my reading experience for the whole year. I have a total of 7 bookish resolutions to share with you guys. The first bookish resolution is something that a lot of people use, and that is the number of books that I'm going to try to read in 2015, and I'm using Goodreads to account for that. And I'm going to aim to read 45 books in 2015. This year, I think according to Goodreads, I read 48 books, but 13 out of those were manga volumes, so that's a lot less than it seems. If I read at a constant rate, around 3 to 4 books a month, I should be able to easily reach 45 books. So it's not a crazy goal, but it doesn't allow me to slack off. The second bookish goal that I have is related to a mini book ban that I'm going on. And that is, I will not be buying any books until June 2015. The biggest reason for that is because I have a huge TBR pile. And by TBR pile, I only count the books that I own, not the books that I want to read, but I haven't bought yet. I have tons and tons of books in Romanian that I want to read. I have about 20 books in English that I want to read, not to mention the books that I have in ebook format. So I want to give myself a book buying break and allow myself to read the books that I have. My third bookish goal has to do with reading diversely. There's been a lot of talk going around booktube with reading diversely and why that is good and why people should do it. I personally read diversely before I even heard anyone say why it's good to do it, because I just enjoy doing that. I'm a person who really likes to travel and I really like learning things about different cultures. So I take reading as an opportunity to visit places. So my third goal is to visit 12 more countries. And by that I mean to read at least a book from 12 countries that I've not read anything from. When I pick books for this particular challenge, I'm going to look at both the nationality of the author, but also where the book is set. A couple of countries that I'm planning to read from and that I actually have some books from are Pakistan, Cambodia, Somalia, Albania, Egypt, and Peru. I have a couple more countries that I want to read from but I don't own books from, so I'm going to be buying those from June onwards. My fourth bookish goal is to read more short stories. I'm not that good with reading short stories and I really want to get more into that. My fifth goal is to read 10 classics. A couple of the classics that I'm planning to read are Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky, The Woman in White by Wilkie Collins, The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne, To the Lighthouse by Virginia Woolf, which will also be my first Virginia Woolf novel, and Agnes Grey by Anne Bronte. These are only 5 classics that I wanted to read, and I need to find 5 more. My sixth goal is to read in foreign languages, and by that I don't include English. English is a foreign language to me because my native language is Romanian, but I read a lot in English, so I don't really count that as reading in a foreign language. I speak other languages as well, and I own books in Spanish and French, so I want to push myself and read those books. My seventh and last goal is that I want to read a Stephen King book every month. I saw a couple of other people doing this with different authors. The person that comes to mind right now is Samantha from Unmanaged Mischief, who's doing this for Haruki Murakami. And while looking through my TBR shelf, I realized I have about 10 books by Stephen King that I haven't read. So I'm going to be reading 1 book by Stephen King every month starting January. Some of the books by Stephen King that I own and I'm planning to read this year are Misery, The Green Catcher, The Dead Zone, Dolores Claiborne, The Green Mile, and a couple of others, including The Stand, which I'll be reading this January. I haven't come up with any cool hashtag thing that I will be using while I'm reading these Stephen King novels, but I maybe will think of one and I will add it on Twitter. So those were my 7 bookish goals that I set for myself. After I set those goals for myself, I also found out about the Book Riot 2015 Read Harder Challenge, which is a challenge that contains 24 goals to make it easier to try to accomplish 2 a month. A lot of what I'm already planning to read fits in with this challenge, so I'm going to be trying to accomplish as many of these goals as well, and I'll be leaving a link to the Book Riot challenge in the description below. I might put together a good shelf read for this particular challenge. I might also put together a different shelf about my 12 country goal. If you follow me on Goodreads, you'll be able to know that. During the year, I will be mentioning how all these goals are coming along and whether or not they're working out for me. So this was it for my 2015 bookish goals and bookish resolutions. Let me know if you have any good recommendations for any of these goals that I've been mentioning. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. I will see you back with more videos soon. Happy New Year and bye bye!